There's a clamor for space, safety and green when it comes to buying a property. And second homes, holiday homes outside of the big cities have made a thumping comeback in 2020. If you can afford it, you definitely want a larger home in a beautiful location. Today on the Property Show, we dive into the second home trend to figure out, is this going to continue in 2021 and beyond now that the worst of the pandemic is over? Welcome everyone, I'm Manisha Natarajan. My guest today, Ashwin Chadha, founder and president, India Sotheby's International Realty, Manit Rastogi, founding partner of Morphogenesis, Aditya Kilachand, a hospitality entrepreneur and now venturing into lifestyle home development, and Mini Mathur, lifestyle and home interiors enthusiast. Thank you everyone for being with us. First question goes to Ashwin, who has first-hand experience of what's selling in lifestyle and most beautiful homes. Ashwin, has there been a definite surge in demand for second homes in 2020? And what's your prognosis? Is it likely to continue going forward?
Yes, Manisha, we definitely are seeing a surge in the demand of the second homes in 2020. And we've conducted, at Sotheby's, we've conducted a survey with a select group of ultra-high net worth clients, and the results are very telling. The survey has indicated that as much as 70% of the existing homeowners have evinced their desire to upgrade or buy a new home. Of the 70%, 50% have wanted to buy a holiday home, and the balance 50% are looking to upgrade their home with a preference to bungalows and farmhouses in the suburban parts of the city.
Okay.
We definitely feel that this surge is going to last, for the simple reason that the second home is become more like a all year round destination, and not just your holiday home for the weekend. And also from the new mantra, which is work from anywhere, which allows us to use our second homes or holiday homes as much as possible.
All right. Mini, what's your opinion? Has this whole concept of holiday homes, second homes merged, and are you also seeing a definite increase in demand?
So I've seen a very, cyclical sort of a movement during the pandemic especially. Of course, the surge had been going up, followed by, that whole point where we felt that, it's better to rent, and we were getting a rent-heavy sort of a economy where people thought that, it was just financially better to rent out holiday homes than buy one. But during the pandemic, I think everyone realized that you needed a place away from home, away from the city, where you could go and, sort of shut your doors to whatever's happening. And everyone around me was literally like just going to look for land or to look for, because they realized this is where it's at. Alibag, another hotspot. I still have friends who are going back to Goa despite the pandemic having, lost its limitations, going to buy land and looking for things that they just want to put away for posterity. They may not be making it to use it now, but they do realize that, health pandemics and other things that we can't see yet will necessitate an extra space that is not very cramped.
Aditya, what's your view? Do you have the same view, anything contrarian? And according to you, I mean, Mini's already mentioned Goa and Alibag as two of the hottest destinations and mountains for North Indians. Where do you think HNIs are now looking to buy a second home?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yes, I definitely have to agree with Ashwin and Mini as well. Alibag has seen a tremendous surge of interest in the last 6 to 8 months. And, the increase in infrastructure with the RoRo and a lot of the connectivity that happened with Bombay and the financial hub has opened up a huge new demographic for people who wouldn't know of the region. So as we're primarily focused on Alibag as a region, we've seen a whole new sect of people who are looking to invest, to be part of the growth story. And I think it's poised for a huge takeoff. So yes, next few years are going to be definitely very interesting.
All right, so Mumbaikars, it seems, are heading to Alibag and of course Goa. Manit Rastogi, come in here. I mean, you're also architect for this strata of society, people who go in for lifestyle homes and have the money to actually buy in beautiful locations. My big question is that in 2020, everybody was really psyched, right? Will the trend continue in 2021? Are those health worries still there, and that need to be in open locations going to continue?
Well, thanks, Manisha. I do think that what the COVID last year, 2020 did, was it just expedited what was an inevitable condition in the Indian residential market. Then coming to the second homes market, there are, we've sort of broken it into three segments. Mm-hmm. One are the NRIs and one are the NRIs that are living outside of India who have a sense of in these COVID times of a sense of belonging. So they really are looking to buy a home in India, which is not something that may be using regularly, but they may end up using it for a few weeks or twice a year. But they do want a home back in India. And we're seeing a lot of NRI movement there. We're also seeing a lot of movement for people who are from out of state. So people who are from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities who are living in the metros are wanting to go back and own own a little piece of something in where their families or where they come from. So we're seeing these kind of moves in smaller cities like Guwahati, Siliguri. We're seeing it in the south, in Kochi. We're seeing it across the board in that sense. And then, of course, there's a luxury segment. And these are people who are essentially looking at a better environment. So hills, we're seeing movement in Kasauli, Rishikesh, and in fact, even going further up north, we're seeing a lot of movement by the sea. So we're seeing in, of course, Goa is a key candidate there. But
so this is probably the first time when all segments of home owners or people who want to buy homes are looking for larger spaces and probably better environment. I mean, there could be different reasons on why they want to move out or to larger spaces. Manit, if you were to just add to the space concept, right? Space has now become paramount, but what else works in terms of if I had to choose a location? Goa is in fact a whole state. I could go anywhere, right? What are some of the other factors which really come to play?
So the other factors that come into play, I mean, of course, one is affordability. Now with the interest rates where they are today, that's also another highly enabling strategy. And you can own a very, very decent sized home in any of these locations. So if you look at Goa particularly, let's say where the new airport is coming up in Mopa, and the distance and the land between Goa, a lot of that land is substantially undeveloped, which is sort of going to come up. And at a very, very low EMI, you can acquire a second home there. Mm. And banks are willing to do this. And it's this sort of high liquidity and low interest rate environment that's also driving that thrust.
Okay. Ashwin, come in here. What is the kind of inventory which is available? I mean, Sotheby's focuses on the higher end of the market. Is there enough inventory available for homes? If there has been a sudden surge, it's not like just, supply comes in immediately. And how are the selling and buying panning out? Are sellers willing to sell at a reasonable rate? Give me some more dynamics and essence of the market.
So Manisha, you're absolutely right. The inventory of ready homes in the second home, holiday home segment is not that much. And the buyers, HNI buyers, be it buyers who are millennial buyers or buyers from a business background, are looking at completed inventory owing to their past not so good experiences. What has happened in the meanwhile is that there is definitely a shift in the both buyer as well as seller behavior. Sellers have reconciled to reality in terms of after having flirted with the markets for the last 3, 4, 5 years, every time they've come to the market and not been able to do a transaction and coming back after 6 or 9 months, they've only discovered that the prices have gone down. So they've reconciled to reality as far as where the market is. And likewise, buyers with the demand and the push that COVID-19 has created are serious, and they have decided to go ahead with the purchase of these holiday homes transactions are closing in a span of 30 to 45 days, what used to earlier take anything from 4 to 6 months. So that's the spark that we see as far as demand is concerned in the second home, holiday home segment.
All right. Aditya, what's your sense in terms of the pent-up demand versus what's available in the market? I mean, you spoke about Alibag, but look at any of the destinations where Mumbaikars go, whether it's Karjat or it's Alibag or it's Goa or it's Lonavala. Are there enough homes available?
No, in fact, there aren't too many homes available, and it's pretty disorganized, the entire sector. So it's actually a great opportunity for people with sound projects, niche projects that can kind of fill that need. It's a combination of people who could be looking to invest as well as be end users that are now looking at having property in either Karjat or Lonavala. Pavna is a great destination. Alibag for obvious reasons. So you're getting a whole wide spectrum, and I think they also I think there's a great for investment as opposed to the maximum city, as opposed to urban areas. There's a big huge growth potential in buying in the periphery of a financial hub or in around Bombay, because the appreciation with the infrastructure and all improving over the next 4 to 5 years can be a very sound investment. So I think it's making sense. Remote working environment for offices and people who are professionals to carry on work, in a more more relaxed, more verdant, more spacious environment is becoming not more practical. So you're getting a whole host of buyers who are now evolved, and they're realizing that they can continue and have a more more enriched life in areas and they don't necessarily need to be in an urban jungle, so to speak.
Okay. So you said that the buyers evolving. Mini, if I were to just go from the outside to the inside, or even in terms of architecture, are there any preferences that lifestyle buyers have? Are they looking at traditional, the rustic sort of a look, or are they looking at cleaner European lines? I know, I'm just curious to know, I mean, A, there is not much inventory, and B, what sort of homes are people really looking at? So if there are new developments, what kind of development should come up?
So I see a lot of people gravitating towards very rustic interiors, more Mediterranean, Greek. So yeah, I mean, I think I see more vintage meets modern amenities. I think some companies are making gated colonies of villas where it's more economically feasible to have one-size-fits-all kind of decor, which doesn't appeal to the very eclectic taste, let's just say.
All right, so we've got the big trends, but I think we still need to get that answer. One big question: do second homes make a good real estate investment, or are they simply a lifestyle choice? Stay with us. Welcome back. Are holiday homes and second homes back in the reckoning? We know COVID-19 has forced people into a different kind of decision making. Health, safety and quality of life have become most important choices. Ashwin, a lot of North India at least is sitting on a portfolio. People have traditionally thought that real estate is a excellent and the safest investment. Some of it hasn't panned out. Even today, do you hear that conversation that, look, I am buying this, 10 crore, 20 crore, 30 crore home, and this should give me some returns as well?
Yes, Manisha, our clients are still talking about holiday homes as an investment option. We try to guide them by saying that the primary return from an investment in a financial asset like equities, bonds, or mutual funds is monetary in nature. However, the primary return from an investment in holiday homes comes in the form of enhancing your lifestyle quotient, that too every day. Monetary return should be an evaluation criteria, but a secondary one. I've been a banker and I always advise my clients to be clear about their investment objective. If you're investing in a second home, your primary objective is to reap the lifestyle benefits and not only chase returns. Having said which, you can get a decent 3 to 5% rental yield with a management solution provided by a developer or a management company, and I would reckon 8 to 10% kind of a capital appreciation with the kind of surge in demand that we are seeing in second homes and holiday homes. I'll give you an anecdotal example here of one of our offices of Sotheby's in the state of Colorado in the US, which is in the Midwest, not in the buzzing East Coast or in Silicon Valley. Sotheby's Colorado office is the largest selling office for Sotheby's globally for lifestyle properties. And guess what? They delivered last year in 2020 a sales volume of over $8 billion. So that goes to show that lifestyle does sell, and lifestyle asset is what people are wanting to go for today.
Okay, but it's going to be a tricky sell then. I know that there are a lot of people who can afford it very easily. Even then, they want some returns. What do you think, Aditya? How do you convince a home buyer that, look, this is a lifestyle decision and don't look at it from the perspective of, getting huge returns as an investment?
Well, Manisha, I can speak pretty, confined to my experience with the Alibag market. And I feel that as opposed to yields and rental yields that you can get in the city, which are barely 1 and 2%, I feel Alibag will eventually give you a much higher yield, especially if the homes are managed. Ultimately, a buyer is looking for a home which of course has some sort of capital appreciation over a 5-year, 7-year period, and ultimately doesn't become a white elephant, so to speak, for them to manage, because they are, the maintenance of these homes does take a toll. And I think developers are getting around to that, and a curated experience for buyers who specifically want, something along these lines is definitely in the reckoning, and I think it should be here soon.
All right. I think we've looked at all the hard questions. Manit, very quickly, I know that you're very passionate about sustainability, and so am I. Is that coming into the buyer's mind at all, and is he willing to pay a little bit extra today for a more sustainable development?
So first, let me correct you, Manisha, like I will always do when I'm asked this question. Why? Number one, you don't have to pay more to have something sustainable. In fact, you should be paying less. Okay. So let's just sort of get that very, very clear. It's a very Western concept where this whole idea that something that's green or sustainable will cost more. It doesn't. It shouldn't. And if 5,000 years of civilization in this region can't prove that, then I don't know what will. So that's sort of out of the way. I think what people are really looking for is we've gone beyond sustainability. See, sustainability is about saving energy, water, material. I think now we're moving more towards the occupant, and sustainability now, in addition to saving energy, water, waste, far more important are becoming issues, like I said, in addition to those, is about air quality, is about the general ambience of the environment, the greenery factor, not again for sustainability, but for wellness, health, hygiene, safety. And that's more focused on the occupant itself. Right. We must remember that it's the occupant who really consumes the energy and the water. It's not really the building. So what we are seeing in second homes, coming back to this segment, is we're seeing people wanting to have second homes where where the materiality and the operability is as natural as possible. So minimum reliance on, say, air conditioning or heating by natural means, not predominantly to save energy, but just to keep it simple, to keep the maintenance costs low. The materials, more or less natural, as simple as possible, which don't require replacement or don't require parts to be imported from a metro to the hills or to the seaside for replacement. The driving force here is about the self.
But we'll have to wrap out here. That's the crux of wanting to own a second home or a holiday home. How do you want to feel about your life going forward? How safe do you want to keep yourself and healthy? Gentlemen and Mini, thank you very much for joining me today on this discussion. And I think it's safe to say that around the world, people have recognized the value of a home as their haven and spaces we live in, and more importantly, what we demand of them probably have changed forever. So buying a second home for all the right reasons should keep the momentum going for this segment in 2021. With that happy thought, we sign off and get ready for the big day, the Union Budget, right here on NDTV. Do tune in.